told you, they're the best. So, moving along. Just a little background info. I think you all already probably know this, but there's really hardly anything you're going to do different with your loan and your house, other than paying it perfectly, that isn't going to impact your credit. Every now and then we do hear about a short sale where people did not have to be delinquent on their payments, or even a loan modification like that, but it's so few and so far between that you just can't really count on that happening for any one particular borrower. You really have to pretty much count that they're going to have some problems with their credit. As a matter of fact, it's going to be what I call a train wreck. So they're going to have a train wreck. Some people try to differentiate between a short sale or a foreclosure, and they'll maybe say things, and you'll see this on some of the internet blogs, that the short sale won't hurt your credit quite as much. Well, you know what? It's a train wreck either way. You're not really going to qualify for any more mortgages anytime soon. Probably not any car loans, probably not any credit cards anytime soon after a foreclosure or a short sale. So I think it's kind of academic as to whether or not your credit's going to get hurt 200 points or 175 points. It's really not going to matter. But the credit can come back in both cases pretty quick. Again, you know, you'll go out and you'll read all the information everywhere you can, and I've sure tried to do this for this talk, and you'll find information just like this right up here, whether it's in 08 or whether it's current, saying that there's no difference. You'll have people saying there are differences in credit scores, but again, back to what I said a moment ago, is it really going to make a big difference? I just don't think it's going to make a real big difference. So, if it's not going to make a difference, why have a short sale at all? Why not just go straight to a foreclosure? And there's a couple of really good reasons, and I'm going to hit on those. But the first and the biggest one is getting back in the market quicker. And we have a whole slide on that coming up here in just a moment. The second is maybe a short sale might look a little bit better to an employer, or if you do have some security clearance issues. If you can be one of those really lucky people who doesn't have to be late on their payments to qualify for a short sale or to qualify for even a loan modification, that's awesome. That just doesn't happen very much, but it does happen. And if it does happen, it has a tendency to happen with people like your local community banks. It's not happening with Bank of America, for instance. So if you have someone with a credit union or a local community bank, I think they have a chance maybe to not have anything reported badly at all. And then the last issue Tammy's going to be talking about. Yeah, I think that having a short sale is preferable in almost all cases, unless you have an issue of personal liability, personal recourse, ongoing responsibility for the shorted amount. So I'm a proponent of short sales, just as long as you don't run into a big problem right there, and that's what Tammy's going to be talking about. One of the reasons I'm the big proponent of the short sales is this chart right here. Now, I'll tell you, these are waiting periods before you are eligible to qualify for a new mortgage from Fannie Mae. If anyone attended the last talk I've done for CORE, or at some of your offices, I pretty much told you all that there is no mortgage market right now except for the mortgage market that the U.S. government is supporting. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, that's it. There's a little bit of another a little bit outside that, but hardly any. So whatever guidelines that Fannie and Freddie and FHA are laying down are what we've got to live with right now, and this is what they are. So, and as I go through these waiting periods, these are waiting periods to be eligible for financing. These are not the waiting periods that you're used to hearing, which are when does this stuff come off my credit report. I'm not talking about when does it come off the credit report. Just even if it's still on the credit report, when are you eligible for financing? And if it's a short sale, you can see right here, 2 years. You know, and I made some changes to this slide. You know how this goes. You prepare a whole presentation, and then you go to back it all up, and you've lost your work. Okay, that was me like an hour and a half ago. So this right here for foreclosure should be 5 years. So just in your mind, 5 years. So if you have a short sale, you can be back in the market with no restrictions after 2 years. If it's a foreclosure, 5 years. Bankruptcy or deed in lieu of foreclosure, 4 years. You get a lot of people that think a deed in lieu of foreclosure is going to be a magic bullet. They're going to avoid any stigma, any problems with credit, any of the negative aspects of a short sale or a foreclosure, and that's just not true. So these are the main reasons. When you talk to your clients, why should they think about working with you and doing a short sale as opposed to just letting the house go into foreclosure? the biggest reason, the biggest question, when do you want to be back in the market again? And then you're going to have these conversations about personal liability. Because as Tammy will talk about, a lot of these people get their short sales down to the 11th hour only to find out that the seller has to sign something before the short sale to conclude, agreeing to pay back the shorted amount over time. Sometimes they know it going in, but many times it's an 11th hour surprise. Who's had that problem? Right? Okay, enough hands. So Tammy will talk about that a little bit. But if you're not going to have a personal recourse issue, then for sure short sale is going to be a better option. I'm done.